Hey guys, welcome back. Today is going to be another journal flip through share, and I know it's been a while since I've done a flip through actually. This one's going to be number 68, and the reason for the gap is things got a little busy. We did end up unpacking our pod, which you'll see I think later in another journal flip through, and we're finally actually settling in. So more flip throughs to come. But this is going to be journal number 68. And once again, plain cover. I really didn't do too much with it. I generally don't decorate my covers very much, so that's kind of normal. I did put a Klimt art sticker on there, so that was kind of the mood at the time of what I chose. Some sticker flakes. I like adding like whatever insert that I'm using, the like packaging information. I don't know. It's just something that I like to do. Watercolor things here. On this date, July 26th, was the day that I reached 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys. That was really cool. That I worked really hard to try to put videos out there on a regular basis for you guys, and I've really found my, I guess you could say, my voice on YouTube with journaling, and so that was a really big moment for me, and I wanted to kind of dedicate a whole page to that. And so I took photos, like silly selfies with myself on my Instax camera to kind of commemorate the day, and just played around with negative space there. And I think this day we were talking about tiny houses, and I happen to have one of these IKEA gift tags that has like a little cottage image on there, and so I decided to add that as like a little tip in. And yeah, I'm playing around with die cuts. When I get bored or I'm just feeling uninspired with my pages, what I'll do is just slap things on there. So you'll see a lot of that, and I think I've mentioned that in my previous videos. And it might not really go together, but you know what? At the time, it was just something that worked out or that I liked. So you'll see that a lot with the die cuts. We went to a local Mexican restaurant here, so I tore up the menu and added that logo there. I was missing England, so I put that in, and we finally got our EMP Museum member card, so I added that to my page. I was looking for a field note size leather cover, and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for on Etsy, so I started kind of designing my own in case I wanted to make my own. You know, there's like that meme floating around there. Oh, I could buy this for $20, or I could buy $97 of supplies and try to make my own. And I felt like that's where I was getting with what I wanted to make. So who knows? We'll see. Still on the hunt. This is a little Circo Target bear. I have a couple, so I kind of doodled him in. Playing around with lots of watercolor in this insert, you'll see. These are Tim Holtz stains, Heidi Swap die cuts. I added a kind of vellum tip in there. This was a wrapper from a, where did we go? It was over by Crossroads, I think. It was just across the way. There is a kind of like Eastern European supermarket, and so we went in. I love trying new foods, and especially if they're in a different language, it's just kind of fun to try. So there was like a bulk candy section, so we grabbed a few things to try, and that was a wrapper for that. It was really good. And more die cuts. I did color swatches of all the watercolors that I'd gotten for that for the big set that you can get of watercolors from Michael's. It was like $5, and I had a coupon with it, so it was a really good deal. And they have really pretty shades. The only thing about those watercolors is they're very chalky. Chalky to the point where these swatches, if I rub my fingers on them, it's going to get all over my fingers. And so they're very pretty. This is my favorite page. These are like my favorite shades. But I don't think I would do too much serious artwork with it. Oh, see, you can see right there, it's just kind of rubbing against the edge right there just from being in my journal. So it's nice kind of just to play around with, but I wouldn't do any kind of serious art journaling, I think, with those, just because they'll just get everywhere. I did cut up the label of the packaging for that, and I just liked the shape of this label. This is a little rub-on tattoo from the Doc Martens store from, I don't remember when I got my bag or when my husband got his boots, but decided to add that in since we're not temporary tattoo people. More Eastern European wrappers. Playing around with some washi on the edging here. You can tell I was kind of getting bored in this insert just because of the amount of die cuts that I have in here. Just slapped in there some Tim Holtz tip-ins and a beer label. This was from like a pack of European and foreign stamps, and it just came on the envelope like that, and decided to keep it intact and just add it as a tip-in. A Madewell ad. I really liked the image of it, so I decided to add that in. We went to Whole Foods this day, and the woman who helps run this family-owned ice cream company was there giving out samples. It was really good. We actually got a pint of one of their flavors, and they had stickers, so I grabbed one. Washi from IKEA, and a rather scandalous image, if you can see that right there. But they were interesting. I've never seen a washi like that, so I kind of put in all the samples. I don't think they carry them now. I am filming this a few months after, and I was there like 2 weeks ago and I didn't see any, but they had some very interesting images on there. This was a magazine cutout of some seashells. I really liked it, and so I added that at the bottom of some quotes that I put here. And more magazine cutouts. I really liked kind of the clean images, just a very white image. I think these were all from like a Martha Stewart magazine. Yeah, these must be because these were from the pet section of that magazine. I don't know. I like cat paws. They remind me of my old cat, and I really miss him, so just that image just kind of made me think of him, so I added that in there. Wiener dog. We got some IKEA like French Provence looking organizers for the kitchen, so I added that, a little how-to in here as a tip-in, and some more black and white images here from that Martha Stewart magazine. I was trying to recreate a Peet's Coffee coconut black tea drink that they have on the menu, or they did at least, and so I decided to try it with this Choice Organic Teas English Breakfast. I'd never gotten that type of, I've never gotten this brand's tea before. It was actually really good, mixed with lots of coconut milk and some cane sugar, and I was pretty successful at recreating it. More images, playing around with some washi. These owls were stickers that a pen pal had sent me a while ago. More Tim Holtz tip-in flip images. I'm really trying to use up this washi tape, so you can see I was just bordering my pages with it. This is from that ice cream shop, so I decided to use that as a journal element in there. More Tim Holtz flips. And I decided to add some more stamps as a border. At this point, I still had not gotten my pod, and so I was really just trying to make do with the little amount of materials that I had with me. I came across my Milwaukee Art Museum membership card I'm still a member. I think I'm still a member until this winter, but obviously I don't live there anymore, so I decided to just journal that. A clear flip tip in here. I got bored, and so I decided to, at the time, take an inventory of all the pens and markers and pencils that I had with me. So I did samples, and then I wrote down what it was. Little Tim Holtz tissue paper flip in, but it keeps going with all the different writing utensils that I had, and I had, at the time, 78 with me. So that is next on my list of things to cover in my stationery minimalism video. More playing around. These are background washes with Michael's Artist's Loft watercolors. I really like how the page turned out with these. These are Artist's Loft watercolors. And they're very opaque if you if you don't add as much water to it. So they come out almost like an acrylic color. So yeah, it's just the color's coming off on my fingers already. Playing around with some more die cuts and some random papers. Tip in here. This is from a package that a pen pal sent me. I love the kind of airmail stickers, so I decided to save those. My husband really likes butterscotch pudding, so I decided to journal about that and put that in there. And we don't usually buy a lot of packaged processed foods. We try not to. For, it's healthy for you and all that to cook yourself. But once in a while, I really, really like the Idaho Applewood smoked bacon mashed potatoes. They are so good. So I decided to write about that. Sometimes you just want something convenient. So that's why I put that in there. We were looking online for bed frames, and so there were a couple options that we were looking into. So I decided to sketch those in there. This is from the front of the package of what my pen pal sent me. And she had sent me a really awesome Bronte themed letter, and that was really cool because she had gone to the museum and brought me back a brochure, which I thought was freaking awesome. I love classic literature, and so that kind of made my day. This is a Henry Bendel backpack, the Jet Setter backpack. I've had my eye on it for a long time, and I keep kind of going back and forth with if I want to get it or not. More Tim Holtz tissue flip. Some stencil plain here, because I had my Art Deco stencil, and made a playlist of all the songs that we were listening to that day when we were at home. Used a tea packet as a pocket, and this was from a suede handbag that I got at Banana Republic. Went to Bartell Drugs for the first time, so I took a little information card and cut that up. Top Pot, and they had postcards that you could grab for free, so I decided to use that as an extra journaling space. And we went to the Seattle Art Museum for the first time this day, so saved my ticket, and they had an awesome Graphic Masters exhibit there, so Albrecht Dürer and Rembrandt and Goya. That was really cool. And this is rooibos and orange tea from that Eastern European store. Tried it for the first time that day. Lots of random things going on here. Some Tim Holtz staining here. And Yummy World, they came back with more of their keychains. For a long time, they discontinued them. And now they brought back like this new series. If you can see all the different new designs. So I've got a collection of those little Yummy keychains, and I switch them out with my keys and such. So that was really cool. They carry them at Barnes & Noble. So if you're a member, I don't want to say it makes it a better deal, but it kind of makes a little dent in the deal. They're kind of pricey for what they are, but they're fun if you like to collect silly little happy foods like me. Cool, fun, tasty looking image of corn on the cob, so I decided to add that. Tim Holtz Tippin'. And I was mapping out a playlist for all my videos so I could get them all into different categories so it's easy for you guys to find them. I have a few videos that I've recently uploaded I haven't added them to, but if you're looking for a certain subject, you can go to my playlists and you'll see all the videos there. So if you're interested, you can find certain videos a lot easier there. Tim Holtz staining here and some washi. More ephemera and die cuts that I was playing with. I think we went to Daiso here and I got some of those clear strips. I like to have very slim, clear, sticky things, sticky tabs to use in books, because when I read, I always come across things that I want to refer back to or look up or just research. So it's always nice to have very slim, clear ones so that way I can see through the writing and then it's easy for me to spot too. And oh, those are the samples of the different sticky notes. We went to Mock's boarding house that day again to play some board games. I think that day we were playing Ticket to Ride. That was our first time playing and that was really fun. We actually ended up buying the game. My husband got root beer and it had a really cool label on it. So decided to stick that in there. And I think right after we went to Barnes & Noble and they had a really good deal on some of the things in the clearance section. So I got an Illume candle for a really good price. It was like 75% off. And then they had a Moleskine Passions gardening journal for like $2. So I had to get that. And then this day we went to the Midsummer Renaissance Fair. I'm disappointed, guys. I'm disappointed with your Renaissance Fair. I never knew that we were so spoiled with the Bristol Renaissance Fair near Kenosha. It's just the best Renaissance Fair that I've been to personally. That's the one I grew up with. And then coming here, it was just kind of like this little encampment of tents. There were no performers. All the performers were just sitting under their tents, just kind of hanging out, talking amongst themselves. A lot of the display tents were roped off, so there was nothing going on. You pretty much paid $20 to go in and shop and eat. And so it was, sorry guys, it was disappointing. So I kind of ranted about that. The best part though was when we saw this little girl. Her two parents were dressed up in Ren Fair costumes, right? And then the little girl had a full out, I kid you not, a full out unicorn costume with back legs that moved as she walked. That was parenting at its best. And so I wrote about that because that was the coolest thing there, was that little girl dressed up like a unicorn. My orchid, one of the little flowers fell off, so I decided to save that and put it in here. Just a fun catalog image that I saw that I liked. And Jacques Pepin had paired up with Sur La Table, so I decided to put in the copper bowl image in there. And I like pictures of artists' supplies, so I decided to add that in there. And that's pretty much it. This was a ribbon from a perfume sample that some lady tied on my hand. And there we are. That is my number 68 flip through. And stay tuned. I've got more to come. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I thank you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and tuning in for all the videos that I put up. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate this journaling community, and I'm just so grateful. So